and this is my new video that I'm going to do for you. It's about Pointe shoes, because I've seen quite a few videos and it's nice to just kind of contribute to all the good tips that I've seen, but then there's some that I think are a bit advanced for people that have just bought them. It's like you can't, they've already got broken shoes, so it's always better to just show people what it looks like, you know, how to actually try and break them in even when they look as flat as that, because that's just really, you can't really work with it like really well, but it takes weeks sometimes, and sometimes it takes a few days. It just depends. So I'm just going to show you parts of my Pointe shoes as well, just to point out things what to do and stuff like that, and then I'll go on to showing you how to break them in. So here are my Grushkos. I love them. So I'm just going to show you this bit. Here is the suede tip that I put on them. They're kind of like a stick-on, and I put on leather boss stick to stick it on, and you can get them from Wilko's, you can get them from any hardware store. It's really quite cheap. It's not, I don't think it's particularly expensive, but you only like use it a few times, so it could be a bit silly to just get just one type of glue, but it's best for the shoe. So you just stick on both sides and then you stick it on. But I always stick it on a day before you're actually going to use your shoes, because if you use it as you just come home from practicing, it's a bit like, you can use it then, but I still would recommend doing it before you even start practicing on them, just because the satin it just looks worn down after like a few tries on Pointe. When I first got them, the suede was going, the satin was looking a bit, you can tell, I mean, like worn. But this suede actually really does help, I think. And after just using it a few times, it's gone a bit worn already. So I can't imagine what the satin would have looked like, and that's a bit scary. So also there's the elastic. The elastic here is really thick, and you can get it from Pointe shoe shops that they sell you with. And as you can see, there's three seams, the two outer seams and the one middle seam. Always stitch the elastic on the two outer seams, like one end here, like obviously you'd put a bit of leeway, so you stitch it down that side, and then the other side you'd overlap and then stitch it down the other side, and do it as tight as you can, and then it would fit and make your feet feel really supported, and it will keep your shoes on. Next part is the ribbons. What I've done with these ribbons are I've double backed them. So for people that don't know what double backing is, it's you stitch it, imagine this is the end, stitch it down this side, and then you'd turn it over so it looks a bit like that. So it's like double backing, and that just seems to help with the shoes and like stopping them from fraying, because that's been fraying for ages, and now I've double backed it, it's like a lot better. So it's just, you know, it just seems easy to work with, because if it keeps fraying and fraying and fraying, you can't, eventually there's some times when you just can't put the ribbons right around your feet, so they're just like literally just a few centimetres away from joining, and it's just, you just can't do it. So that's why I hate it when ribbons fray. So I'm also going to show you these. These are like extra supporty foamy things that you put in the end. I can't remember what she called them, to be specific, but they really help making my feet feel a lot more cushioned. If you don't need them, then don't buy them. It's just because I needed to buy them, because my feet have like got like literally a few centimetres off, and if I put too big of Pointe shoes on, they hurt, and then too smaller ones, they're too tight and make my feet scrunch up. So these, when you put them in, are like this. So this will go right to the end of the point, and then that will curve around in your Pointe shoe, so it just gives that your toes extra support as well. I've marked this one as right, because for my right foot, it's just always easier, because they've already started to take a bit of a mould to my feet because of all the pressure on them. So it just seems better if you know, have it for the right foot. So I'm just going to put this inside, and I'm just going to show you what it looks like when it's inside the shoe. There. As you can see, it's just right at the end. You can tell that there, where the I can't. Webcam is really annoying. And then I've got my toe pads. This is from the block Pointe shoe make. Block dancewear make. I'm sorry, I keep mixing it up. The toe pads can be made out of sheepskin. They can be made out of anything, but I just like these, and people really do tend to buy toe pads because, you know, it's just better for your feet. I think more support. So I'm just going to put them on for you, and I'm just going to show you what I can do for breaking them in. So I'm not a brilliant person at tying ribbons or anything like that. I've still not really learned the art of it yet, but make sure you do tie them tight, you know, but not too tight that your blood circulation cuts off, because that'd just be really quite bad. Right, and to make them look tidy, I always like tuck them in behind the ribbons, but because I just sometimes can't be bothered with it, I'll just leave it out, which isn't a good thing to think about, really, is it? But if you don't tie them right, your Achilles heel and ligaments in your foot can actually be damaged, because it can be that severe. So I'm just going to show you some ways that my pointe shoes can be broken in. Right, as you can tell, these aren't really, you know, breaking them in very well. This bit needs to be a lot more bent, but as you can tell from wearing them a few times, that still haven't really broken in very well. But if you keep doing from just flat-footed to demi-pointe to pointe, the shoes will eventually just wear through. So then you'll be able to do like a lot more pointe work. As you can tell, this isn't comfortable with just having one pointe shoe on. But you can see that just doing these at home and then going into parallel and doing it all over again, put as much pressure as you can, and this part hopefully will start to break through, and, you know, just ready for me to start using them properly. So that's my video on pointe shoes and trying to break them in. Also, that I've actually heard about, don't put your shoes in the door. I know it sounds ridiculous, but some people actually do them. So what's the point in buying them for like £50, £60 and then putting them in the door to break them? Because I'm trying to keep them as long as I can, and it just seems ridiculous to put them in the door. And also another tip, just to bend them before you go into class, so that you've got kind of like a bit of a bend in your shoe, like that. So just get it and bend it. And I know it seems really stupid and it hurts, you know, when you're trying to bend them and they won't bend. But there, as you can see, it's a lot better with it being a lot more bent. So that are just a few tips for you. So please comment if you want me to do any sort of stretching videos or anything like that, anything at all, because it just gives me something to do. Well, thanks for watching, and see you around.